When Theresa May was in Brussels last Friday finalising an interim Brexit deal, Jeremy Corbyn was in Switzerland speaking at the UN's Geneva headquarters. As British politics was consumed by battle over the terms of EU departure, it is fitting the Labour leader happened to be in the country famous for avoiding European conflicts. Corbyn's Brexit stance looks a lot like neutrality. It is not an issue that ignites his campaigning spirit. His power to mobilise legions of loyal supporters was not deployed for the Remain cause in the referendum. It has since been marshalled towards other causes. In Parliament, the tone of Labour's response to May's European manoeuvres sounds more like commentary than combat. John McDonnell revealed the essence of his party's convoluted Brexit calculations when he said on Monday Labour prefers to talk about a single market as distinct from the single market. There is only one continental single market under discussion in the current negotiations. The UK can be in it, as most Labour MPs would like, or out of it, which is the government's goal. The Shadow Chancellor's indefinite article clarifies only his reluctance to make definite choices. Corbyn's roots are in the vintage left Eurosceptic tradition, but his fortune has been made by a new, instinctively Europhile generation. Such calculated ambiguity has served Labour well so far. The party fought the June election with a manifesto that was explicitly but not ostentatiously pro-Brexit, and a campaign that steered debate elsewhere. Labour reassured Leavers in its traditional heartland seats that it would not undo the referendum result, while scooping up votes from Remainers whose urgent motive was thwarting May. The electoral alliance that deprived the Tories of a majority is a patchwork of anti-conservative feeling, masking contradictory attitudes towards the EU and the Labour leader. Even within the pro-Corbyn camp there are latent tensions between culture warriors who despise Brexit as Trump-esque xenophobic nationalism, and ideological stalwarts who have always seen the European project as irredeemably capitalist. That is largely a generational divide. Corbyn's roots are in the vintage left Eurosceptic tradition, but his fortune has been made by a new, instinctively Europhile generation, the crowd that chanted his name at Glastonbury. The Labour leader doesn't want to betray their affection, but nor does he comfortably deviate from familiar doctrines. For McDonnell the calculation is different. He sees EU rules that promote market competition and prohibit some forms of industrial subsidy as impediments to Labour's renationalising ambitions for the economy. But he also wants to be an unthreatening candidate for the Chancellor's job. He recognizes that businesses and investors like the single market, and the Treasury needs the revenues that accrue from membership. McDonnell is pragmatic enough to dial down his distaste for European institutions if that helps defuse the city's terror of a Corbynite government. Besides, pursuing a radical economic program while aligned with EU rules might be inconvenient, but not as inconvenient as trying to pursue a radical program in the crater of an economy that has been struck by a meteor-hard Brexit.